Welcome to this Hampshire 1900 series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and we're picking up on the 12th of March 1976. And in this part, what I want to do is work on the new oil refinery in Beaulieu, and for that reason the game's going to be on pause for most of the game, simply because one of the reasons is that I would like to get Fareham online as a functioning town this year. Hopefully. It's been a long time coming because we do really need to start pulling together some of these key areas. But what I do want to do is be able to control that. And if I'm working on the oil refinery, I won't be able to keep an eye on what's going on here. Now, moving across the map, there's not a lot else going on in this area. Southampton's going along quite nicely. If you watch the previous part, you'll be aware we had a legal problem, and that's now been fixed with this new courthouse, which is kind of cleared away all the problem. Just to show you that is that I come up to the courthouse up here, which was overloaded. The game's getting a little bit jerky for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. You can see, so you can see here this year the number of people who escaped is 19. So we've managed to kind of put the curb on our legal problems. Totten is slowly coming together again. I really need to get this area online over here. If we go to Ringwood, which is our new area, what I just want to do here is let these guys... I think what we will do is we'll put a little temporary road round like that and tell them to build that. And train waiting too long, isn't that a surprise? We'll just build that through there, let them pick it up. We'll go and check where that train's been waiting too long. And the idea is we're going to get the road structure down to here. Now, this isn't going to be a very big town. This is really the role of this town is to provide the services to this area here. I doubt very much whether we're actually going to make this rail connection, because the truth is that the railway can come in from over here. So that's quite a big factor. I would like to put some kind of bypass around Lyndhurst, but again, we'll leave that to the next part. We come down to Milford-on-Sea. Milford-on-Sea is quite stable in this area. We've now got our beginnings of our electronics industry coming here. Hopefully this will be built soon. The one thing that is missing from here is a waste collection option. We'll just put one on each one, hook you up here and get this done, because this will produce hazardous waste. That's another reason why we really need to start pulling together Totten so that we can get things going. I think beyond that we're okay. As I say, we're getting some limited electronics produced. Not 2.53. I think I changed the store here, wasn't it? Shopping supplies. I think what I might do here is actually put you directly onto the actual factory to begin with, and rather than the cargo station. So we'll just remove you there. The reason for that is that the electronics will often pile up in here, and at the moment we're more interested in just supplying the electronics to Leamington until we've got the capacity and the workforce here. So it's going to take a little while for this to ramp up, and hopefully we've got no chemicals. Oh no, the chemicals, plastics and mech components are all in here. That's okay, that's good. So that is up and running. So what we're going to do is leave the game on pause, and this is our new oil refinery here. And I've been thinking about what I want to do here, and I've had a little bit of a crackpot idea, in the sense that one thing that we are going to need to going forward especially if we're going to develop the Isle of Wight, is we're going to need an asphalt plant, and the easiest way to build an asphalt plant is next to an oil refinery producing bitumen. And the other thing that we've got to do is that a very long time ago I built or planned this here. So we're going to have to bring bitumen into here, although it won't be quite so important because to a certain degree the local services in this area are now actually a bit dependent. I just want to go and check this train. Okay, this track this has all been electrified, so technically now these can have a direct effect on the line here. Just really, this is just a service line. Now, so you can come out that way. Actually, make you double, and put the mixed signal in there. Just have a quick check to see if these are. Okay, this is all been fully electrified. So is it all the way down to here? Yep. So that's good. Right. So what we can do here is we can put the mixed signals in there, and then we can. These guys can come backwards and forwards through there, so you need that. You can come out that way, like that. What's this here? This is a depot. Does this depot really need a crossover? I think it could probably benefit from a crossover. Yeah, I think I will put a crossover in. This is a bit of an oversight. Okay, that's not going to work. What we're going to have here is train sets, so just make sure that we can get a signal in there. So actually we'll put these on high priority. And we'll allocate that to. You can always rely on this game to distract you completely. This was not meant to be. Get that there. And this link here will ensure that the train's running this way. I think what we will do is put a. This is finished, thank you, game. And you can keep building out this way. Why have you got power symbols there? Is this bridge? Okay. We've got power symbols there. Has this track not been set up for electrification yet? Okay, no. Well, we can come back to that. There's no point. I don't want to get involved in that because what I want to do is work on this area here. Now, I've been looking at this and I want this to be quite a major kind of input area, because if you look at the actual input for a oil refinery, you can see that they can burn 250 tons of oil per day at maximum production. Now, there's no way we're going to get 250 tons of oil from this per day. So the one change I do want to make is I want to put a pumping station in here for ship deliveries. So we're going to start here. We're going to put a pumping harbour. Just tuck you in there like that. And what we're going to have is an oil storage there. And so we're going to have a pumping harbour here. Now, this pumping harbour is also going to need fuel. So we got an oil tank there. We got this pump here. Let me just see. Has that got an input to it? Why has this got no... Okay. So you're bringing oil from there, and you've got one input from there, one input from there. Right. We're going to change these around a bit. Underground pipe. You're going to come in there. You're going to come in there. And then what we're going to put here... I can never remember whether ships see these as extensions of our capacity. I'm going to need to look it up, guys. But so what I'm going to do is we're going to put a flip view that way. We're just for the moment, we'll do it in the minimal way. And then if necessary, I can put a pump in. So what that means is that we can bring oil into here, which can then be pumped down to there. So we'd bring oil in here. Now, there's two ways we can bring oil in. One, we can bring oil in from over here into here, or we can also import the oil to begin with. So that's the reason there. And of course, what we're also going to need to do is export the oil, and probably what about bitumen? Would we need to export bitumen as well? I think we're going to leave the port a little bit sketchy at the moment, because the next thing I want to consider is my original plan was to put chemical and plastics production here, which I still probably want to do in this area. But the other thought I've had is to produce asphalt here. The reason I want to produce asphalt here is that we're moving rapidly to a point like to develop the Isle of Wight, and another project that I want is, if I show you the uranium, is we're going to build a nuclear power station here. So what we're starting to think of is putting in an asphalt plant here with helicopter pickup points, so that what we'll be able to do is be able to send helicopters over here to pick up asphalt. It's not in the ideal location, but if we can work it out properly, that will mean that we could actually, I could put it, how flat is the ground? That's pretty, no, it's we'd have to go out this way, I think. Yeah, I think it would be logical to put the, actually we could put the asphalt plant up here. And okay, so I think that now comes down to how we're going to get the workforce from here to here. And my instinct is tram line. We could put a dedicated tram line here. We could then... how much pollution does the asphalt plant actually create? 7 tons. So we could put an asphalt plant. If we expand this out this way, we could put an asphalt plant up here in this corner. And we're going to need to bring gravel in. We can bring gravel in from Milford-on-Sea, because I don't want to make it any more complicated. Well, I think everything's complicated by nature. So the rail tracks need to be on this side of the road. Right. Yeah, I think I can do that. But what we're going to need is some form of tram network running through here. We've only got the one road, but that's okay. We can make that work. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to use a dedicated tram network, I think. So let's just plan that. We put the tram network in first. Actually, if I put the asphalt plant in first here. No, we can do it. Yeah, we'll be okay. Tram network. We're going to need a road with tram tracks. Oh, no. We're going to need a large tram stop here. So if I put the large tram stop there, and actually we'll bring a road through to there, because if we're going to build plastics, we're going to need to build the plastics plants here, which will then squeeze the asphalt plant. Okay, that's all right. We're also going to need to build an end station. So we would have to put a connection there, and we would need an end station. Where's the... So we need something like that, directly opposed to... Okay, well, we might as well go for it and just put it all in. Like that. Put you to there. You to there. Just make sure we can bring road in from there. We got a tram stop there. We can use this space as well, which is flat or flattish. Or then again, could you argue that, because what I want is a chemical plant as well, which is here. Chemicals need oil. No, plastics need oil. Chemical plants also need oil, and gravel and crops. Although we do have this one here. This is the big chemical plant, but I've also got chemicals. Where is it? This is my favorite one. This uses fuel, coal, and bitumen. And quite a lot of power. Oh, oops, thank you, game. We could build these here. And we could, yeah, if we could get plastics around here. And we got this here. And if this is flat enough here, we could put the asphalt plant here. It would still be far enough away. So if we come up to here, we got a little bit of road across there. Yeah, I think if I put another tram stop in about here, another, we'll go for large ones just in case. So put another large tram stop there. Now I don't want this road connection to be used by other vehicles. So so what we can do is build this. This is a tram track with no access for pedestrians and cars. So we can run you up like that. You can see with this one, it's actually, it uses prefabs rather than actual, what we call it, asphalt. And then what we can do is if I put, we'll just plan a road down there, like that. Actually, could I get a road? Got a bit of a road there. Says the sides are too steep. Oh, yes. Okay. I don't think I can level in the moment. I think I've used... Oh, yes, I can. If we push this coastline back a little bit. Actually, we've got to straighten up anyway, because we've got to put the drainage on this side as well. So if I put a road underneath here like that, connect you up like that. I'd like to keep that row of trees if possible. Right. So if I break this here and we put a large tram stop in about there, trim this back a bit. So we put a large tram stop there. Actually, yeah, we got to put it that way. So put a large tram stop just there. That would cover this area. And if I do something, put another one, come out like that there. Put a road out like that, and one like that. Now the trams in this area will have to run on the normal roads, so and you can run to there. This would have to be a normal road as well. To there. So we'll have the normal road run round to here, to here, to here. And then what we will do is then put the dedicated tram track out here. Because this is the road where things will be traveling at a distance. Like that. And then we will put a tram track from there to there, an asphalt road from there to there. No, that's got to be a tram track as well. And then that will connect that up. That creates a tram loop round our town. We can expand a little bit in that direction as well. That will give us a tram line. Make sure it's all connected down to here, to here, to here. That will mean we will have a drop-off point here for other industries should we need them. From that point of view, that means that what we can plan here is the asphalt plant. So we'll put that in because it's going to be fairly important. In fact, it's going to be fairly key to our overall industry. We're going to need to bring gravel in. We're going to put you out about here. Actually, maybe I flip you that way. We can put you about there. Right, that means that this road is going to have to go into there. Now, I don't want to break this, so we're going to put an access road there, directly across the tram track there. And then what we're going to need to do here, this is where it's going to be very, very important. I've never done. I haven't done this. And will be pickups of 3 helicopters be enough, or can we get 6? The problem's going to be is connecting that pipe. I'm not sure if you do that. The game will let us actually connect up a pipe connection. Let me just see if I can do that, because we've got to have a, yeah, we can get a pipe connection out under there like that. So we'll just build that to begin with. We can always change it later on. What that will do is we'll get a gravel road down from here to here, and another one into there. That will give us a pickup point for 6 helicopters. Kind of thinking, will that be overkill? Because the entire output of an asphalt plant is so its maximum production per workday, 145. We give it water and sewage. That will consume a lot of gravel though, so we'll need to consider that. So we've now got an asphalt plant there. Yeah, I think we'll go for the 6. If we can't use them all, we can always demolish one and remove it later on. So we're going to need to put bitumen into there. The question is, would we ever want to export bitumen? Where would we send bitumen if we actually export it? We got bitumen in there, and we'd have bitumen there. Yeah, we're going to export bitumen by rail, but not. Would we export it by ship? I'm not sure, to be honest. I think maybe we need to work on the next step of what we got to do. We need to think about the rail inputs now, because the rail line here has got quite complicated. We're gonna, how flat's it out here? It's reasonably flat out here. Can I push this back a little bit? Here, let me just see. Right, so I'm just going to push these back and I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I'm just finishing off this little bit here. What that should do is give us a terminal out here where we can actually, how can you put it, build a train pickup point. So liquids, what we got here, load, unload, that's too small. Oh, that's nice. We put you well out here with a slight angle that way. Say there, it's got lots of terminals and pickup points, so we drop you there. We're gonna need right, we need to think about the extension. Let me just look at over here. I can never remember how the actual pipe connections work. Get rid of you, at the moment we don't need it. Right, so at the moment this acts as a direct extension of here. So does this, doesn't it? I know this one's pumped directly from here. It's not, that's not something I actually want. So, and when you go to the next level, you've got to pump it. Okay. So, whoops, where are we? So what we've got to do is come out of here with 2 large oil pumps. Do I really want that directly connected to that? Because we're going to need one for fuel, one for bitumen. In fact, we could probably put the one with the asphalt plants up there. So we could probably put the bitumen one here. Actually, we put you in quite close. We are going to need to ship bitumen to Milford-on-Sea. And we may also want to export bitumen to out, but I'm still not comfortable with that. I think we can put you here. Let's just put you in, drop you in there, and then get rid of that other pipeline. So we'll put the bitumen tank there. And just demolish that pipeline there. Oops. And I'm just going to rename this Solihull. That's up by Birmingham. Bitumen out, we'll call it. I know which one is which. And then we need one for fuel out this side as an extension. If I put you, say, about there. Actually, if I put one there, yeah, what we could do is we could put a big one there, like that. Get rid of you. And then we're going to put a small one as well for local fuel distribution. Yeah, I think that will make sense. That would mean that there will the train coming in here or a boat coming in there won't steal all the fuel for this area, because well, eventually we're going to have a nuclear power plant and infrastructure going out that way. So we're going to need a separate, smaller, you know, like the 300-ton mark here. We can put you about. Okay, actually that's, let's just see. And put you about like that. So you don't obstruct that out pipe, but you get an in pipe. Yeah, I think we can do that. And underground, you can go to there. Rename you Solihull local fuel. Solihull fuel exports. Okay. Let me just go back and look at the way I set up the rail network over here as well. Where am I? See, this has got a direct connection, because this will pull fuel from there. So if we go back over to here, what we need from here to here is a direct underground pipe. We could do a direct underground pipe to there, like that. That means the fuel coming out of here will be able to be picked up from here, because any fuel coming out of here is either going to go to the at there, or it's going to go out that way. So if I could put a second line from there to there, And that should also serve the purpose of fueling the port here as well. So we got this one here, like that. Now, what we've got to do now is, oops. Actually, that might be wrong because we've got to take, yeah, we're going to get rid of this one. This one needs to go into that one. Because what we're going to need is an output pipe from here to there. Because we need to get rid of that node there. So bitumen trains running from here and fuel trains running from here. So we're going to need to take bitumen to here because we got fuel and bitumen here, and of course if once we got the bitumen there we can start to disassemble our what we call it plant here, and then that can all get shut down and taken away once that's actually been built. Now we've got to get bitumen to here. Now I've got a feeling this is going to be a little bit too far. Plus the fact is I think I would like a contingency here. So we got this pipe coming out here. So what I would like to do is this can act as an extension to this. Again, sorry about this. I think we've got, where is it? We've got this pipe here, which has got the bitumen in it. And there's a direct pipe from there to into the asphalt plant. Yep, right. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in, probably put it here actually, because we've got the pipeline coming out here. So we'll put a small oil fuel storage thingy here underground. You can go to there. Now we are going to have to put a pump between these two because two connections between two tanks is passive. We're going to have to do something like that. Actually we could probably put it up here a bit more. So we could put you, we'll put you about there. And what this will do is pump the bitumen from here to there. So we got bitumen in and bitumen out there, and this can just be a mud road. It's only going to be needed for fire. This one, I don't want a panel road, I want to just put a little gravel road in there. So we've now got the fuel coming out here, but does my what we call it, let me just see, isn't the chemical plant also needs fuel? But then again we've built we got this here, we got the local, is it, where's the local fuel output, which is going to be here, local fuel. What we're going to need to do now is put in, we're going to need to put a road out to here, aren't we? So we might as well do that next. So if I put a road out through here to there, then we can do all the necessary connections there. What we will need is a road fuel loading, unloading here, because we're going to need to pick up the local fuel. Is there anything else that we'd want to pick up from there? Now, this thing doesn't have any external connections. So I think if we put a fuel terminal here and then we build the chemical plants, we'll be okay. So, right. This needs to come into there. That would give us the fuel pickup. So we've now got a train connection there. The next thing we're going to need is to, if we build these things, we're going to need to deliver coal. So, and we also need to deliver gravel to here. So how flat is this? This area is reasonably flat. So what we need now is an aggregate unload. I think that might be a little bit too small. I think one might be a little bit wishful thinking. This is going to be pretty big. Right, so we need to kind of angle this in this direction. Actually, we're going to need to put it out about there. Now we need to get gravel into here, but what we got to do is the actual aggregate store has to be directly connected to the actual the train unloading. Otherwise the rail distribution offices won't work properly. So we can put you there. Now this isn't quite so important because we can put a conveyor through to there. Let me just put a road in to there. So what we're going to need now is a conveyor system. We're going to use my favorites. It would be great if that would span in one go. Look at that. Thank you, game. That will put the gravel into there. So this will be a... And it only needs to be small. Gravel store. And then on the other side here, we can put another small store for coal. Flip you round that way. Put you there, like that. And we can put a road connection into there like that. And of course what we will need here is a loading bay for any, but should we use it? I mean, there's a very good possibility that we may not ever use this, but I'd like to plan it if possible. Like that. And this will be our... Another advantage of this is that if we can get this set up, actually that's a point. Actually, let me just look at this. This is becoming a bit of... Yeah, we got an output there, because the other thing we can consider is actually putting coal-fired heating into here. That makes sense. We've got a big nice source of coal over here. Yeah, we can bring in coal heating into here. So the next thing we're going to need to do is now connect all this up with railways. There's the concrete. So we're going to need to come out. Now, how long is this actual station? Starting from there, it's 149. So if I come out straight for another 100, like that, and put a crossover there and there, Then if we remeasure this, let me just see. Cancel. Remeasure you to there. That gives us a train length of 247 meters, which should be more than enough for that. Now, how long is this one here? Because we could be running quite long trains here. So this is 100. So we're going to need to come out to about those trees there. This is where the fun starts because it's got 4 terminals. So if we come out dead straight like that, actually, well, not dead straight, but like that there, remeasure this to here. Yeah, if we come up to about that tree there for the first merging line, so you can come out like that, a bit more, merge in there. You can need to smidge you back a bit. No. Okay, it's probably because there's a little bit of an incline there. We're going to need to kind of actually, no, that's horrible. There's nothing that says that this can't be curved. So if we come out that way a bit and do something like that, that's 100. So if we come out here, this is 107. So if we do something like that, extend you out that way, get rid of you there, and then we can come to there, merge there, put the crossover there, and right, so you've now come out this way, but what we've got to do now is we've got to get over this road with a bridge. This is going to be fun. Is that lining up correctly? So we're going to have to go over here. Where are we going? We've got to go over that way. So, whoops. So we can be a little bit sneaky like that. Don't like that connection. Oh no, it's looks okay. And then you can then drop down this bridge. Q. Why won't you? You can come down there. We've got our track up over here. So why aren't you? You must be on the ground by now, aren't you? You're meant to be level, so let me just delete these again and get you. That should be on the ground. Then we will run. Oops, this is. Wow, it's a length of electrified. And then what we got to do is connect up to there. So it's going to be a lot of track, but it'd be worth it in the long run. So we can run you up to there, run you into here. And then we're not going to need to do a back curve to here because there's no reason why we'll be shipping oil or fuel or anything out here. Would we want to ship oil anywhere? We can come back to that. Let me just see. I think that, okay, we're just going to accept all that. I think that's there. Why won't these connect up? Oh, it's just being a bit icky. Just make sure all these are good. Okay, so that comes up over there, that comes up over there, comes down to there, comes into here. And then of course what we're going to need to do is come out of here. Framework, come out straight to begin with. Actually, no, we could curve it a little bit because we do need enough length for long trains here. So that can come into there. So we could put the crossovers here. That should be more than enough length for the trains. And then you can come over like that. Again, there's no need for the train to back curve into here. So you can just merge like that and that. Take those out. Make sure we got them all tidied up. And we'll accept that. There's a connection there. I missed. Get rid of you. So we've now got coal, gravel delivered here for an asphalt plant. We've got a fuel pickup point here. We are going to need a fire station. It'd be nice to put one in there, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do it. But we will give it a go. Come on, you can do it, game. Yes, you can. Just sneak you in there. Because we're going to need to make sure we got really good fire coverage in here. I'm going to need to sort out the fuel side there. And I'm aware that I'm running out of time, so I think we've got this done here. I just want to make sure we get our track layers. I don't think these guys are doing very much at the moment, so actually you need to finish off these bits as well, don't you? And when you've got nothing else to do, you can come down here like that and come into there and kind of work on this area. As I say, I will make a decision on whether we're going to export fuel. I suppose what we could do is probably don't need a asphalt road here. It's only going to be a service road to the port, so that can get accepted as well. Yeah, I need to think about what we're going to import and export from here. My instinct is probably fuel. Whether we'd export bitumen is another matter, because mainly because bitumen's really only used for making asphalt, and if we build this up here, what that will mean is that this, say for example, if we're going to expand onto the Isle of Wight, which we will be doing, where I'll probably be using helicopters to actually do it. In fact, what we probably would do is build a dedicated helicopter construction site in this area. Actually, come to think of it, let me just do that as a marker. What we got here, helicopter construction office. Yeah, what we might do is put in a dedicated helicopter construction office in somewhere around here. That will mean that it will need another fuel connection. There's always complications, isn't there? We could put one in there actually. This is shifting asphalt, isn't it? We've got, this guy's got the direct connection, but these have got multiple outputs, haven't they? Yeah, we could pump. Yeah, I think we will probably build a dedicated kind of helicopter construction office. I'm just going to put it in as a reminder. I'm going to put it, we can't put it there, but we could probably, if this area is nice and flat, we could put it here, somewhere here. I'm just going to drop it in as a reminder. Whether this is going to be the final location is another matter. In fact, if we build this up enough, we could put a... would I want to use the workforce? No, I think if I built a helicopter construction office here, it would be primarily to supply fuel, not fuel, asphalt, and to wherever it's got to go. Then that opens up the possibility of putting in a helicopter loading bay. It's getting complicated and I'm getting distracted. Right, just as a final where is our gravel? We got gravel here. How many more connections have I got from? I'll be very surprised if I could get another output from here. I think we've exhausted all the gravel outputs from here, but there is a possibility with a but then we got that there. Let me just see. We've got gravel here actually, haven't we? Yes. Let me just see. Aggregate. Yeah, we got an output there. So if I put a loading, where are you? Here. Helicopters. If I put something, oh, look at that. Right, what that will do is give me a pickup point for the what we call it, for gravel for helicopters. It's in a little bit of an awkward place, but it could just be one pickup point. And then we've got one for asphalt. We build a helicopter construction office here. And then we could pick up some workforce from here if we needed to. We built this up enough. Anyway, I've got completely off track. So this is where I'm going to leave it. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. In the next part, we'll probably do a little bit of polishing in this area. But what I do want to do in the next part is really start to try and focus on getting Ferrum finished here, because it is becoming a little bit of an area where we do need to do some work. Anyway, so until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.